Welcome to the Virtual Ball Boys podcast. My name is Chris, and I am joined once again by my good friend, Matt.
Chris, it's your turn in Mario Party. Press A when you want to roll your die.
Okay. Alright, I'm rolling. Got two.
I said press A.
I hit A. I got two.
You hit A?
Yeah.
Oh, I had a die for you that I was gonna roll.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. All
but
right.
you never pressed A.
Alright. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. I'll roll.
Alright, you land on a Bowser space.
Oh no. Is he gonna give me that inflatable that I have to pay 15 coins for?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't come across that yet in Mario Party Superstars.
Oh no, okay. There you go. It is that's on the first map at least.
Gotcha.
I haven't played any of the other maps though, because I do not own the game. But yes, Mario Party Superstars is upon us, and many of our friends have delved deep into it. Yeah, I enjoyed my time with it. For as someone who's not a huge into Mario Party, I'm like, all right, cool, it's fun.
It is the best Mario Party game in a decade.
That's probably a very accurate statement. Yeah.
Yep.
that's probably very spot on. Yeah. Welcome everyone to the Virtual Ball Boys party, where we will go around the board and talk about football. I don't know. I try. Yeah, we'll talk. We'll gather some balls. You have to win a certain amount of balls, and then you get bonus balls at the end of the podcast. You know, it's great.
More balls than you can hold.
There you go. We have all the balls here. So we have a lot to talk about today. We got to recap week 8. We got to go over what happened during the trade deadline. Some of the notable moves.
Not much, except for one thing.
Yeah, I would say there was the one splash move, and then like some little trades that were like, oh, that's interesting. Smatterings, yes. And then we're gonna do our first, I think, ever Virtual Ball Boys power rankings, at least for the top 10. And we'll give you what because right now there's a lot of confusion about what the fuck is who's on top of the NFL right now. It's very much a gray area right now. We are here to deliver the news to you, who is at the very top. All right. And then, of course, we'll do our Week 9 picks. We are 1 or 2 weeks away at this point from our halfway pie. I think that we decided after Week 10 or after Week 9.
Do you want to do it after Week 10?
I'm trying to think of how this...
So in the past, we do it after Week 9 before Week 10, but they added an extra game. So it's still about halfway, but...
Yeah. I feel like 9 games... kind of would be considered like the halfway point. Like the halfway point of the season is the halftime of
after
their
Week 9
game.
now.
Game. Right. So, I mean, if we're looking for everyone to be past their 9th game, it would be Week 10 that we do
10.
after.
Okay.
So, all right.
So 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, 2 weeks from now we'll do our halfway point episode. But for now, we're still just in the nitty-gritty of the mid-section of the NFL. And I would say the best to describe this past week, because the last week was kind of shit, and this week was a lot more interesting, a lot more fun games. But I think this week is the week of the backup quarterback. And we'll get to those in just a second. Mm-hmm. But first things first, the game of the week, I decided, was Packers at Cardinals. It was a game that felt like it was going to be the Packers. They felt like the Packers were just like they're going to steamroll the Cardinals a little bit. There was times where their running game was just going off the wall and doing very well, but the game kind of changed within the last 5 minutes of the game, where the Packers were at the goal line and it seemed like they got in at one point, but then that got overturned, and then the Cardinals, their goal line defense held up the Packers, got the ball turned over. Kyler Murray, who kind of walked away from this game a little bit on the hobbled side, he ended up putting on a show in that final drive when they marched all the way down the field, and it felt like the things kind of started moving in the direction of the Cardinals, where they could just score a touchdown, the go-ahead touchdown, and win the game. And then the final play of the game was Kyler Murray throwing what could have been a touchdown to AJ Green, but someone forgot
had
the route.
AJ Green turned around.
Yeah, AJ Green not knowing what the route was, or something happened, some sort of miscommunication happened, and instead Rasul Douglas, the former Eagle and Cardinal, picked off Kyler Murray with a very easy interception to close the game out. Matt, you had a lot of emotions in this game. What was your thoughts after this?
Well, at first I was like, okay, we got a fun game on our hands, right?
Yeah.
I knew that it was going to be good. You guaranteed the Cardinals, right?
I did, unfortunately.
Yeah. Sorry to bring that up.
That's okay.
No, but it's a cool game. This is going to be a good matchup. And I'm excited to see what is happening. And in the game itself, good amount of back and forth. Surprised at the level of defense that was played in this game. The Packers really got their game plan going, missing their receivers. And I thought that at the very end it was going to be I was feeling really good that final drive, especially when it was I was getting super into it with the Cardinals defense, and then just seeing AJ Green not turn around. It was just oh well, that was that was anticlimactic.
Yeah.
It was building up to something, and then it was just over. And I was like, God damn it! I think my text to you was "fuck" in all caps.
Yeah. It was just it was a very very unfortunate turn of events. You talked about the Packers defense. Devondre Campbell had quite a really, really good game for the Packers in the middle of their defense. But yeah, it was just it was a tough game for the Cardinals, because they were just trying to get their groove going, and yeah, it was pretty close ultimately throughout. It kind of ended up working out, but ultimately it felt like the Packers, with AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones, both of them, man, they just were so good in this game. And even without Devontae Adams in the mix, they didn't need him. The run game was really what was doing it. And the Cardinals, unfortunately, they just don't have a good run defense, and I didn't really think about that. Didn't even know about it going into this game when I went to pick it. So yeah, it's an unfortunate loss for the Cardinals. We no longer have anyone that is undefeated in the league, but Cardinals should be fine, right?
Yeah, I'm not worried about them at all. Packers are a great team.
Yeah, Packers are a very, very, very great team. Now, we move on to the blowout of the week, and this is an unfortunate one for both of us. It was Eagles at Lions, and the Eagles just destroyed the Lions in this game. We all thought, hey, could get chaos here. Could see Lions finally could get over the hump. They could finally do it. No, and they go into their bye now, and it's hard to kind of fathom as of now anyway. I mean, anything could happen. Things change, over the course of the season. But it's hard to fathom them winning a game at this point.
Yeah, let me see the rest of their schedule.
They come out of the bye week. I think they have
Steelers,
yeah,
Browns, Bears, Vikings, Broncos, Cardinals, Falcons, Seahawks, Lions. I could see Seahawks if Wilson isn't playing.
Mm-hmm. But that's much later in the season, right?
Yeah, that's
He should be
January
back.
2nd.
Yeah, he should be back by then.
Oh no, I don't think the Lions are winning a football game this year, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, again, weird stuff happens. It's one of those things that you never know what could happen, and like the Falcons, they could have a weird game there. Steelers could have a weird game. Browns could have a weird game. Like you never know. But yeah, it's a little bit of a brutal stretch here. Eagles kind of felt like the last one where it's like this has to be something that they finally overcome. They have to be able to do this here, and it just did not work out for them. So unfortunate situation for the Detroit Lions as they stare at potentially a second winless season in their
the
franchise
first
history.
0-17 season.
Yeah, what will happen the first year of the 18-week schedule.
Of all teams to do it, it was going to be the Browns or it was going to be the Lions.
Yeah, and the Browns are at least average enough where it's just like it wasn't going to happen with them.
Yeah. Man, the Battle of Toledo not looking so great now.
No, it's so good. And now we have the chaos of the week, and there was quite a few options to pick from, but of course we have to go to East Rutherford, where the New York Jets beat the Cincinnati Bengals in a wild finish. Some questionable calls by the officials, maybe notwithstanding. The Jets, with Mike White, in his first career start, had 400 yards of offense. Mike White!
Mike White! The writer of the Emoji Movie and former Survivor contestant Mike White.
Yeah, right. Oh my goodness gracious. The Bengals and Cardinals were sitting at the top of their respective leagues going into this week. And at least you can say, like, all right, the Cardinals lost to the Packers. The Bengals lost to the Jets.
The Jets! So we're like, okay, the Chargers are, we start the year like, oh, it's the Chiefs. The Chiefs are great. Chiefs are not great. Chargers, hey, welcome to the party. Nope, lose to the Ravens. Ravens, hello, you're the best now. Nope, Bengals. Okay, I guess we're getting to Cincinnati. Oh, here we go. Jets beat you. Now it's like, okay, is it the Titans?
Okay.
Nope, Derrick Henry's gone.
Yeah.
Also lost to the Jets.
Yeah.
The AFC is a mess, and I love it.
Yeah. This year has been parody, very much a parody fest of just who the fuck knows what's gonna happen on a week-to-week basis. We're gonna do our power rankings later, and we'll see what is the highest ranked AFC team at the moment. But yeah, it's been wild, and this game is just so bizarre, and who knows? And on top of this, I mean, that's the chaos of the week is embedded in the Bengals and Jets. But again, going to back-to-back quarterbacks, you had Jameis Winston. He's out for the year now with an ACL injury, but Trevor Siemian. He ended up coming in, and he ended up winning against the Buccaneers. You had Cooper Rush come in for this Cowboys team, and they beat the Vikings. You had there's another one. There was another backup quarterback that I'm going to forget now that won this week. Geno Smith.
Yeah.
We which that one was at least kind of like expected.
We knew he was coming. And it was the Jaguars.
They're going up against the Jaguars, so we knew. But like those three backup quarterbacks came in and they had a very, very good game. For all three of them, and it's just wild. It was a good week to be a backup quarterback in the NFL. So chaos ensued. But Mike White and the New York Jets get the crown of the most chaotic teams. Jets have 2 wins this year. I mean, that's just, I don't know, just with everything else that you think about, like it's wild that they're
and it's
good.
And it's not against like scrub teams. It's not like, oh, the Jets beat the Jaguars. It's the Jets beat the Bengals and the Titans, 2 of the best teams in the conference right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's so insane. It's so wild. All right. Wild week. But we have, and we're going to try to kind of parse it a little bit with our power rankings. But first things first, we need to talk about the trade deadline. Now, here's the good news. There really isn't any bad news in this segment. The good news, no Deshaun Watson trade, so we don't have to talk about that.
Yes, thank you. Get him the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Figure this shit out. Tell me what team I get to hate next season.
Right, yeah. Like, I mean, it will return, but for the time being, we don't have to maybe worry about it until, like, I don't know, mid-January. Like, we could just toss all these storylines aside, because I'm good with that. You know, I can live without it. But we did have the trade deadline just never ends up coming, meeting the expectations of any of us. None of the players that we mentioned ended up being traded, even though, like, I think Kyle Fuller was rumored, Robinson was rumored, Fletcher Cox was rumored. Like, there's a few. There was, like, Deshaun Jackson asked for a trade. He didn't get it, so he got released. OBJ got LeBron James to try to get him to get out of Cleveland. That didn't work out for OBJ. That's a clown fest right there. But we still got a very interesting trade. Longtime Broncos linebacker Von Miller is heading to the Los Angeles Rams. Oh my lord, Matt. What is your reaction to this trade?
So, the initial reaction at the start of the year is, oh, Matthew Stafford's a trade. This vaults the team up to Super Bowl contention. And then you realize, the defense isn't quite as good as it was last year. They got, like, 2 big playmakers with Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, but no one else who's, like, lights out.
Mm-hmm.
Enter Von Miller.
Yeah.
And now you have someone up front, in the middle, and in the back who are, like, among the best at their position.
Yeah. Yeah, Von Miller has had a great year, and she's been under the radar.
Yeah, under the radar, and it's been on the Broncos, so, like, not many people are paying attention to the Broncos. And I think that, God, trying to stop both Aaron Donald and Von Miller at the same time,
yeah,
it's not going to happen.
Yeah, this was a huge trade.
Amazing trade. And the fact that the Broncos are still paying Von Miller for most of the year, which makes sense for the Rams to actually be able to do this.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, the Rams, I think one of the reasons why I don't think anyone really expected a big trade by the Rams this trade deadline is because they're out of cap space. That whole situation for them is kind of brutal. But yeah, they got the Broncos being like, all right, if you give us these, like, second and third round picks, we'll give you Von Miller. We'll pay you his salary, which is just wild. Like, the fact that the Broncos are just willing to do that. I mean, hey, for good value draft picks, of course. Like, it's not like this was like a terrible trade for the Broncos, because I think Von Miller was going to be a free agent in the offseason. You didn't want to not get value from him, so ultimately it was a good trade for Broncos, but. It is just wild that Von Miller is going to be on the Broncos payroll and playing for the Rams, and the Rams are just going to keep on building. Like, and something that I didn't really think about a whole lot, because I think we have, like, our few people that are, like, that we would consider MVP candidates, but, like, you got to give credit to Matthew Stafford. He's playing out of his mind.
Yeah.
He's playing like he could be an MVP candidate. And because the offense is singing the way it is, and then now you're beefing up the defense even more. What a trade! That is a very very good situation for the Los Angeles Rams. Another trade that I thought was intriguing: Mark Ingram, longtime Saints running back, bounced from them to the Ravens, then to the Texans, and then the Texans were like, "Hey, you want to go back home? Let's bring it back to the Saints." So Mark Ingram played this past Sunday in that Saints victory. He actually played a very crucial role in the Saints beating the Buccaneers. But yeah, that was a nice big trade. What was your thoughts on Mark Ingram being back?
The Texans backfield is almost non-existent, so I'm happy for Ingram that he's going to be able to compete with a I guess good team. I
mean they're 5-2, right? They're getting there. They're getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara years where the two of them together are just hilarious and a lot of fun. So I think just from a person point of view, I'm just like, I'm very happy for both of them that they get to be back together, and it showed that was a big factor in that game. And yeah, I'm super excited for them. And a few smaller trades to talk about. Melvin Ingram, who signed with the Steelers at the beginning of the training camp, I believe, was not happy with the Steelers, so the longtime Chargers defender got traded to the Chiefs. So the Chiefs, who need big time help on defense, got Melvin Ingram
and offense and everywhere. Basically.
Yes, basically. And then speaking of the Chiefs, their longtime offensive guard and part-time doctor, Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, was traded to the Jets.
See, this one I don't get.
I don't know why they did that, no.
Because the Jets are not like a contender.
Right. I mean, unless they feel like they could go on a run with Mike White. Which, I mean...
Do you think?
He threw for 400 yards against the best team in the AFC, quote-unquote. You know what I mean? Like, you never know.
I suppose.
I'm with you. Like, it's like, it is weird that the Jets are trying to acquire assets instead of maybe selling their assets in this situation, but I don't know, man. I'm more confused about this from the Chiefs' point of view, because I feel like, I mean, I guess they have a stable offensive line without Duvernay-Tardif, but, like, I don't know. He always seemed like a very stable player for them, and they kind of sent him to a worse off team. They got a tight end in return. I think it was was it Dan Arnold was who they got back? No, that Dan Arnold's on another team. Who did they get back?
He's on they got a tight end. I forget his name.
Yeah, it's definitely Dan something. Regardless,
I mean, you're correct.
It's a very it was a strange trade. I don't get it for either side, but hey, if the Jets feel like they need to improve their offensive line, maybe to make Zach Wilson better when he comes back, I mean, I guess so. That works out for them. And I was looking at Adam Schefter did a tweet that kind of listed all the trades, but he also included CJ Henderson and Stephon Gilmore as part of those trades. It's just like, all right, good, nice to like try to like, you know, hype the trade deadline up a little bit more, Adam. You know, it's not that we are well aware of those trades already.
Yeah.
Next thing you're gonna tell me is that like Mohamed Sanu got traded from the Patriots to the Falcons. Like, we get it. That was like a few years ago. Like, Falcons to the Patriots. I'm kidding. It's the fact that that's a trade that happened a long time ago. He's just trying to beef up what the trade deadline ended up being, which is once again a non-news story.
Right.
But yeah. Still, Von Miller to the Rams, I think the biggest news story of that whole thing, and I think that will do major things, potentially, in our power rankings, which we will get to right after these messages. It has been 2 years since we started Team Chaos Productions, and we would not be where we are today without the help of Anchor. You've heard us talk about it all the time, but let me remind you, this completely free platform gives creators the tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your computer or phone. Once done, Anchor will distribute your podcast to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more so you don't have to. You can also make some money on the episodes with no minimum listenership. It's everything you'd ever want in a podcasting platform, so download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Happy podcasting.
This is Kelsey from Team Chaos Productions, offering you 30 seconds of calm. Sick of talking about video games with people who just want to be toxic? Then welcome to the Gaming Coop. We come together each month to talk about what we love about video games. Discussion topics range from our favorite soundtracks to the best relationships between characters. We also have some fun segments in the middle that range from simple trivia to building our school of gaming. Find us on Anchor or wherever you listen to podcasts. Game on! This has been your 30 seconds of calm.
And we're back.
Hello.
It is time to do the first... I want to say it's the first ever, because I don't think we've done this before.
No, this is new for us.
VBB Power Rankings, presented by.
We don't have a sponsor, Chris.
I was trying to look around my desk to see if there's a name brand I could just pull. They won't get mad at us.
Are you sure?
I don't.
Some people get mad at that.
All right, fine, whatever. They're presented by me. Presented by me and Matt. That's the power. So what we're gonna do is that before this podcast, myself and Matt wrote separate top 10 lists of who we think are the best teams in the NFL, and I did the usual kind of assigning of points for each of those rankings. So the top team that we wrote on our list got 10 points, the second best team got 9 points, and so on and so forth, and we added it together, and so I have the definitive list of the top 10 NFL teams.
Awesome. I should mention,
yes.
I do not know what this full list is.
Yes.
I know my side.
Yes.
I'm hearing this full list for the first time.
Exactly. Yes.
Curious what I'm also curious what your overall thoughts will be on mine.
Yeah, I will definitely get to that. Let me see what we can. Let me go.
Get out of this for now.
Let me go backwards, and we'll move our way to the top here. Right. So we'll start at number 10, but number 10 is a tie.
Okay.
Number 10 is a tie between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Cincinnati Bengals, both sitting at 3 points based on our rankings. Number 8 is the Tennessee Titans with 4 points. Number 7 is the Baltimore Ravens at 8 points. Number 6 is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 10 points. Number 5, the Arizona Cardinals at 14 points. And then we have another tie at third place between the Los Angeles Rams and the Buffalo Bills. 15 points assigned to both of them. Number 2 on the list is the Green Bay Packers sitting at 16 points. And that means the number 1 team that we think is the best team in the NFL, and we agreed on this, was the Dallas Cowboys at 20 points. What are your initial takeaways?
I'm also surprised that you put the Cowboys at 1.
Yeah. Honestly, this past game convinced me.
Yeah. The fact that they were able to win with a backup quarterback
that never played before.
Never played before.
That threw 3 passes prior to that game.
Yeah. Cowboys are insane.
Yeah, they have so much talent on both offense and defense. And I just the only weakness for them, I think, is their head coach, which is a big thing, which is a big factor. But I mean, that's right now they're looking good. We agreed on a lot, I will say. So I
was kind of looking at that.
Let me read you what my top 10 is, and you read your top 10 after that. So I had at number 10, I had the Patriots. Number 9, the Titans. Number 8, the Raiders. Number 7, the Ravens. Number 6, the Bucks. Number 5, the Bills. Number 4, the Cardinals. 3, the Packers. 2, the Rams. And 1, the Cowboys.
Cool. So from my bottom to top, 10 Chargers, 9 Titans, 8 Bengals, 7 Ravens, 6 Bucks, 5 Rams, 4 Cardinals, 3 Packers, 2 Bills, 1 Cowboys. Now, I may have moved the Rams up a little bit after the Von Miller trade. This was just kind of like, hey, where are they right now? We haven't seen Miller play with the Rams yet, so that's why I didn't move them up. And I just felt like they weren't quite the Cardinals beat them earlier, so that's kind of why they were down a bit. Sure. And then I just didn't think they were quite up at the Packers tier yet, but the Rams are still in consideration and very much consideration for Super Bowl for me. So
yeah, I had it's funny. So we agreed on number 1 was the Cowboys. We both had Packers at 3 and Cardinals at 4, and we both had Buccaneers at 6 and Ravens at 7, and the Titans at 9. So we had a lot of agreement, a lot of overlap. So
did we switch the Bills and Rams around then?
So we switched the Bills and Rams, and then we had 2 different teams in the 8 and 10 slots.
8 and 10. Okay.
Overall, I think I was lower on the Bills just because I'm just a little bit worried about the Bills in terms of how this conference is playing out, and how it's So they lost to the Titans, and then they kind of had this close game with the Dolphins that should not have been as close as it was. It just felt very weird, and so I kind of it's the whole AFC conference, as fun as and exciting as it is, it's kind of scaring me away of like I don't know if we have a truly dominant team at the moment. So I think that's why I had the Bills ranked as low. I put the Rams ahead of the Cardinals and Packers purely because of the Von Miller trade, because I feel like that trade is going to do a ton for their defense in terms of enhancing their defense, and I just feel like the offense is just firing on all cylinders and doing so well. I think that they're just going to be such a tough out, and I have so much faith in Sean McVay as a coach. I feel like the Cardinals, my worry about them right now is their run defense and the fact that we don't know what Kyler Murray's injury status right now is. He might play this upcoming week. He might not.
That's my trouble with Murray.
Yeah, like I'm worried that I worry just the durability of him this year. That could end up getting better in future years, but right now he's been seeming to get a little bit hobbled here and there. Where I'm like, and he is just such a crucial part of his team, and the fact that they lost J.J. Watt, a very key defensive player for them.
That's the unfortunate part about the Cardinals.
Yeah, and like if we go to the bottom of the list for you, why do you have faith in the Bengals and the Chargers at this point?
Okay, so the Bengals for me, that loss to the Jets was just one of those fucking weird fucking things that happens in football.
Yeah.
I still feel great about the Bengals offense, not necessarily their defense, but I still feel really strongly about their offense, and I think that in most situations they'll be able to win games.
Yeah.
And it's pretty similar with the Chargers too. They obviously had like that down game. Did they play last week? They did. Who did they play?
They had a bye last week, I think.
They had a bye last week.
Yeah. They played
the Patriots and lost.
Well, right, yes. This past week they lost to the Patriots. They lost to the Ravens, and they had the bye in between.
Right. Yeah. So I maybe a little less faith in the Chargers. I still feel like that they have the building blocks to get it done, though.
Yeah, I think the Bengals and Chargers are still good teams.
Right.
The reason I just knocked them out is just because the Jets game kind of scared me away a bit for the Bengals, and the Chargers, their offense is starting to get kind of weird. Like they're both games against the Ravens and Patriots, it feels like they're just not getting in a rhythm, and something's kind of just not kind of clicking the way the earliest parts of the season has for them. I'm not worried about that long term. I think that they'll get their groove. I just think at this moment I don't see them at this top 10 level. But
gotcha.
I could see it happening. Getting to that point, I have the Raiders at 8 right now, and it really just comes down to the fact that I feel like the last game that they had before their bye kind of signaled to me that I feel like this team's gonna end up surprising a lot of people. I feel like they're gonna get back into this rhythm of that they're gonna be all hands on deck on the offensive side of the ball, and I think the defense is still not where it should be. That's always been the concern with the Raiders, but I feel like with the way that they're playing this season now, and especially with like the chip on their shoulder over how the whole John Gruden thing went down, and how he was rightfully ousted, and now they want to be able to prove that they can still win without him. I think that that's still going to be a major factor in this game, or in the season, and I think that that's why I still have the faith in them that I do. The Patriots, I'm just so impressed with them. I think that they're just getting on this rhythm, and Mac Jones just keeps on getting better. My big thing last week when we were picking that game against the Patriots and Chargers is I went with the Chargers because I've seen what Justin Herbert can do. I felt like with Mac Jones, like I was worried that they were going to rescind back into him just kind of playing like a game manager role. He didn't have an amazing game against the Chargers, but the way that they were able to kind of execute on plays, like, it just felt like they were starting to get into a point where they're playing like a team that's going to be a very tough out moving forward. Their defense is getting better. Like, there's certain elements that I feel like the Patriots are really starting to kind of get a grip on what their identity is going to be. And I think that's what has kind of put them in the top 10 for me at this point.
Cool.
The both of us have Titans at 9. That's probably because of the Derrick Henry injury, right?
Definitely. If it had it not been the Derrick Henry injury, they would be higher.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Derrick Henry is going to be potentially out for the year. There's still some people that are saying that it could be an 8-week injury where he comes back for the playoffs.
Comes back for the playoffs, essentially. Yeah.
Which could happen. I mean, what the good thing about winning on Sunday was that they really distanced themselves from the rest of the pack in the AFC South.
I mean, the Colts are the Titans are going to win this division.
Yeah,
they have the tiebreaker of the Colts. They have an amazing record over the Colts.
Yeah,
it's going to happen. It's just going to be now. All right, what seed are you going to be? What's your overall record going to be? How good of a team are you other than Derrick Henry?
Yeah, and can Derrick Henry, if he does come back, can he be the same Derrick Henry? Those are all going to be some major questions moving forward. A lot of interesting stuff regarding this whole situation, and I'm fascinated. I'm glad that you and I are in agreement though about the Cowboys. Watch the Cowboys lose this week, but like I don't know. Like it feels like I feel like a lot of the top teams in the NFC in the NFL right now are in the NFC, but I think the AFC has a little bit more depth overall. In terms of like who, like, you're gonna see 7 really good AFC teams in the playoffs.
Yes,
you're gonna get 4 or 5 really good NFC teams, and then like a few blah teams. I think overall.
I agree with that.
And I'm very fascinated to see how it all shapes out. But for now, let us go to our picks for the season for this week. Last week,
Chris, that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, last week, I went 9-6, and Matt, you went 7-8. I did not get my guarantee or my chaos, so I did not get. I lost a point there. You got your guarantee, but you lost the chaos, so you didn't. No bonuses at all for that.
It happens.
So the way that these records look right now, Matt, you're sitting at 76-46. And you have 28 points. I am sitting at 73-49 at 21 points. So I kind of closed the gap a little bit this week. This was actually the first week I think I won with the picks since like week 2. I have not had the best luck head to head with you thus far this year. So I'm glad I at least got one week where I'm like, all right, I got a little bit of headway in the competition. So we'll see how this week shapes up and how we are looking at these picks. Matt, how about you get us started here?
Sure. We are starting off with the New York Jets, led by Mike White, taking on the Indianapolis Colts. How's this matchup going to play out?
Thursday night football, man. Just you get a juggernaut matchup. You get a juggernaut matchup last week, and then you get Jets and Colts the next week.
Yep.
Ain't great. I'm Team Chaosing the Jets. I'm not. This is totally a situation of not that I have faith in the Jets, but it's I don't have a good Team Chaos to pick this week.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
So I'm looking at this, and I'm like, if Mike White can dismantle the Bengals the way he did, maybe he could dismantle the Colts. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'll go with the Jets Team Chaos.
All right, I like it. I'm gonna stay with the Colts.
Yes.
Just because I think that they're still a competent team.
Yes, exactly.
But if the Jets win, I won't be surprised.
Yeah, it would be stunning if the Jets won back to back, but oh man. Would be fun. The Cleveland Browns at the Cincinnati Bengals. Browns are just they're dealing with it right now. They're just not the same team that started the year. Not playing very well. Having some issues here and there. Cincinnati Bengals though, they have been going on quite the run, only to be shown up by the Jets. What do you think's going to happen here?
Is Baker starting?
Baker should be starting.
Oh, I actually didn't know that.
I think so. I don't know, unless he's injured. I didn't know that.
Baker Mayfield being injured? He's been out the last 2 games.
Didn't he play this past week?
I thought Keenum played again.
Hold on a second.
Hold on.
we need to double check. I thought Baker played this week.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah, he played this week.
Anyway, I still don't trust him. Bengals.
Okay, there you go.
That was weird. That was weird.
Yeah, that's all right. I am also going to pick the Bengals, and I feel so good about it that I'm guaranteeing it.
All right, I like it.
This is, maybe I shouldn't guarantee against a team that just lost against the Jets, but you know what? The Titans bounce back, and maybe the Titans will too, or the Bengals will too.
Yeah, we'll see.
So there you go.
All right. Next up, we've got the Denver Broncos taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, it's very rare, but we got the yeehaw matchup.
Yeah.
Who do you think's gonna win?
We just said that Cowboys we think is the best team in the league, so I'm gonna go with the Cowboys. I think that they take care of the Broncos, who had a very strange game that they almost gave away to the Washington football team.
Yeah.
So I'm going with the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm yeehawing all the way to the bank. Cowboys.
There you go.
I don't know what I mean by that.
Oh fuck! I just processed this next matchup: the Houston Texans at the Miami Dolphins. Man. I mean, so there's a lot of layers to this.
Can you imagine if the trade went through?
Yeah. And then what would have happened? My lord. I don't even know what to say about this matchup. What do you think is going to happen?
I'm going to pick the Dolphins just out of necessity.
Yeah.
But it's not a confident pick.
Yeah. I don't feel confident about it either. I'm also going to go Dolphins. Here's the thing, though. Like, I'm going to pick Dolphins. I'm curious if Tyrod Taylor plays this week. Because that would be like, okay, maybe the Texans could win. But even with that said, even if he does play, I'm like, this is a matchup where you look at the records and you just like hold your nose and pick the home team. So I'm going Dolphins in this one.
All right. Next up, we got the Atlanta Falcons taking on the New Orleans Saints. Saints defeated the Buccaneers last week. Falcons lost to the Carolina Panthers. Who's going to win in this matchup?
This is usually a heated rivalry. Anything can happen. Maybe with the quarterback injury being the way it is, that this opens up the door for the Falcons to win. But I just really love the way that the Saints defense has been playing. I'm loving their running game right now. I'm going to go with the Saints.
I'm also going with the Saints. I think that they are now, I guess, kind of like a playoff team. Like a playoff-capable team, I would assume.
They're in the picture. They're in the playoff.
They're in the picture, yes, for sure. So I'm sticking with them.
There you go. Las Vegas Raiders at the New York Giants. The Raiders are coming off their bye. The Giants came off their loss against the Chiefs. But that was a weirdly close game that shouldn't have been as close as it was. What do you think's going to happen?
Weirdly close games are weird. The Raiders are a good team. They made your top 10. I'm going to say the Giants win this one. They're playing frisky. I'm going to team chaos the Giants.
I like it. I like that team chaos.
We have both chaos New York teams.
Yeah, right? Oh my god. We're this is destined for failure. But I hope not. This would be a fun one for the Giants to win. But I'm sticking with the Las Vegas Raiders. Here, I think that again, I'm gonna try to stand by what I said about the Raiders. I think that they're playing with extra fire under their butts.
Yeah. All right, 2 4-4 teams. The New England Patriots take on the Carolina Panthers. Stephon Gilmore revenge game. And would have been a Cam Newton revenge game if Cam Newton was still on the team.
Yeah.
What do you think for this matchup?
I think I'm going to go to the Patriots because, again, I may put them in my top 10. I feel very good about them. I feel like they're finding themselves. They're figuring themselves out. I think that they're on a path to maybe going on a run here a bit. Panthers, good for them that they finally got a win again. Took them a bit. The Stephon Gilmore played a very key role in that victory. But I think the Patriots are going to go and win this.
Yeah, I still don't have a ton of trust in Darnold. I'm gonna go with the Patriots as well. This is also my guarantee.
Hey,
I'm gonna guarantee the Patriots.
Very nice, good job, like it. Next up, the Buffalo Bills at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Bills. Both me and Matt still see this team as the best team in the AFC, and the Jaguars are probably near the bottom for both of us here. What do you think's gonna happen?
I'm just gonna go out on a limb and pick the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I'm going to Bills too. Bills, I hope to see a little bit more dominance from them. I need to see.
Yes,
they need to punch these Jaguars' teeth in. You know, those teats. Anyways, moving on.
Moving on. The Minnesota Vikings take on the Baltimore Ravens. We got the purple matchup, Chris. We did it.
Yeah, purple.
What if it was purple? Eric Andre sketch.
What if it was all purple?
I need to show you the what if it was purple sketch after this.
Okay, cool.
All right. Vikings Ravens. Who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Ravens. Everyone keeps on telling me that this Vikings team is frisky, and then Kirk Cousins lays an egg. So I don't know, man. I get that the idea that this Vikings team has it in them, but when they're in these big spots, they kind of let me down here. So I'm gotta go with the Ravens, who I trust a little bit more. Plus, they're coming off the bye.
Remember when I said there was going to be clock management issues in the Vikings Cowboys game?
Yes.
I got the coach wrong.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick the Ravens.
Yeah. Not a resume game for Mike Zimmer.
No.
The Los Angeles Chargers at the Philadelphia Eagles. Chargers are now lost 2 in a row, and the Eagles beat the Lions last week. What do you think's going to happen?
Like I said, Chargers were in my top 10. I still have a lot of faith in them. I'm going to stick with them this game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Chargers should take care of business here. If they lose this, though, we got problems.
Next up, we finally did it after 2 years in a row of both of these teams being in their respective champions. We've got the State Farm matchup of all matchups. The Rogers rate versus the Patrick Price. Who's gonna win? This could be a tough one, man, because I don't have much faith in this Chiefs team right now, but I feel like at any moment things could turn and they start playing lights out. But I'm gonna put my faith behind the Packers. I think that they are just playing really, really good football right now, and I think that they're gonna put the Chiefs back below 500. So I'm gonna go Packers. Damn. I think I'm gonna go with the Chiefs in this one. It's not confident, but they got to do it sometime. Might not be against the Packers, but I gotta root for the Chiefs here.
Yeah, no worries.
Gotta pick the Chiefs here. Okay, Chris.
I get it.
Chris.
Yes.
You know what's fucking weird about the State Farm theme?
What's that?
No one can figure out what the fucking meter is.
The meter?
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Like what the fucking rhythm is for the State Farm theme. My guess is it's 1 measure in 7/8, and then it's 3 triplet quarter notes. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Oh, this is music theory shit.
It is music theory shit.
Okay.
Those of you out there, you understand. It doesn't make sense.
Well, so you know who was the original singer of the State Farm theme, right?
No.
There were oh man, it was a famous singer. Who wrote it? I literally, we did this in I think Trivia Pursuit ended up asking a question. Barry Manilow. Barry Manilow wrote.
Oh, really?
Yeah, did the State Farm jingle. So, Like a Good Neighbor, is the name of the song by Barry Manilow. I would look that up. Maybe I'll check it out. Maybe that'll give you at least what the original music was. But yeah, no, it's a weird one because they changed it up, but you have like these people who can't sing that sing the jingle in the commercial sometimes, so it's they end up not doing it at like the right rhythm. So it's like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Like it's just like they're not doing a good job.
No, yeah, and it's weird because they have no concept of rhythm,
right? Exactly.
So it doesn't even matter that much at all. So
right.
Yeah.
Next up, speaking of state, this is not the Arizona Stadium. This is in San Francisco, but it's the Arizona Cardinals at the San Francisco 49ers. Of course, now the Cardinals, with their first loss of the season behind them, they but they should bounce back in this game against the 49ers, who beat the Bears last week. Will they do it, Matt?
Kyler Murray's I think Kyler Murray is okay. I really hope he's okay because this Cardinals team is so much fun to watch. I'm going to go forward with the knowledge that he is, and I'm going to stick with the Cardinals for this matchup.
I am too. This would have been this was a chaos I was thinking about, but I don't want to give up on this Cardinals team, and I'm kind of with you where I'm like, if he is healthy, and hopefully he is, they should win this game, just because the 49ers have had quite a bit of struggle.
Sunday night, the greatest show on turf rematch, Titans versus the Rams. Titans just lost Derrick Henry. Rams just gained Von Miller. Will that be enough to totally sway this in the Rams' direction?
I think it will. I think it will play a big factor. I really like this Rams team in this game. I don't think the Titans are dead in the water necessarily. I think there's a lot of people that feel like Derrick Henry is a very important player for this franchise. I do think it's gonna leave a mark for them. But I think that they will be able to bounce back in some capacity. I just don't think it's gonna be in this game. I think the Rams will take care of business and beat the Titans.
Yeah, I'm also going with the Titans. Titans are no fucking Rams.
Yeah, I was like, wait,
my brain fried. I'm going with the Rams.
There you go.
Horns
up.
Horns up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sure.
Texas Longhorn thing. Last.
Don't mention them in this household. They have an ugly orange.
All right, horns down then. All right, Chicago Bears at Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers have a stellar defense. Then they have been playing pretty well, but they're still having those issues on offense. Like they're starting to get there. They're inching closer to maybe being a little bit more stable on the offensive side. That's why they were able to beat the Browns. Can they do it against the Bears, Matt?
I wish I could say no, but the Bears aren't gonna defense is injured. Justin Fields looked a lot better last week than he has at all, so that was cool, and I'll be cheering for it to happen again, but for the purposes of this, I'm going to pick the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm going with the Steelers. Justin Fields did look great last week. I don't know if it will be the major factor though that will change this outcome. I still think that the Steelers are going to win. It's so weird that whenever these two teams face each other, it's like, all right, let's put it in prime time, regardless of the current status of those teams.
Right.
They will just always
they both suck.
Yeah, they're historical franchises, I get it, but it's just my lord, can we not think for a second? But I guess ratings and shit. All right. So, that leaves us with 3 disagreements, both of our chaoses with the New York teams, and then the probably the game of the week of the Packers at the Chiefs. We disagreed on that as well. So that's 3 disagreements going into into this upcoming week. Very nice job. Wow, we've been keeping it under an hour for these podcasts. We've been rolling. We had 4 segments in this podcast, and we did it under an hour.
Yeah.
We're kicking.
Look at us.
We're kicking some booty on this.
Look at us schmoovin'.
Schmoovin'. Yeah. So it is next week. I don't know. Is next week the time to get our shovels for the graveyard?
Ooh, shit! I think we have to. Yeah.
I think this would be a good time to do it, just because this is maybe our last chance to maybe revive some teams for the home stretch. So yeah, all right, we'll get our shovels out. Maybe we'll maybe revive a few teams here and there, and then we'll bury some teams here and there. We'll see what's gonna happen with that, and of course we'll recap week 9 and we'll give our picks for week 10. By the way, Matt,
yes.
What's how's this Saturday looking for you? Do you think you can VBBFL it up?
Probably.
All right. So
sounds like a fun time.
Let's plan it out. Let's do it. So we will be back this week for week 3 of the VBBFL, probably sometime in the afternoon Eastern time. So stay tuned for that. We'll let you guys know about exact timing and everything as we inch closer. Follow us at Virtual Ball Boys for more information on that. And without any further ado, guys, thank you all so much for listening today. And we will see you next week.
Good night, and good ball. Virtual Ball Boys has been brought to you by Team Chaos Productions. Find us on Twitter at Virtual Ball Boys, and find more of our work at Team Chaos Pods.